7.4 hypothesis testing for a proportion. And here's the problem. It says a research center claims that less than 20% of internet users in the United States have a wireless network in their home. In a sample of 100 adults, 15% say they have a wireless network in their home. At alpha equals 0.01, is there enough evidence to support the researcher's claim? So this is going to be a left-tailed test because it says less than, and so the null hypothesis is p is greater than or equal to 20, and the alternative hypothesis is less than 20. First, you need to verify if the products n and p and n and q are both greater than 5. And if they are, you're going to use a z-test. If they're not, you're going to use a t-test. So that's another way to tell what test you're going to use. So n is 100. My p is 20% from this. It's 0.20. And I say 1 minus 0.20 to get q. So q is 0.80. So if I multiply n times p, so n times 20 0.20 gives you 20, and n times 0.80 gives you 80, and both of those products are greater than 5, so I know I'm going to use a z-test. So p hat is 0.15, and that comes from this part of the question. N is going to be 100, and we're going to go to the calculator and go to test, stat, test, and we're going to pick number 5, one prop z-test. So that's what we're going to do. And so that what we're looking at will be one proportion z-test. So this test requires a value for p sub o, which is the value of p in the null hypothesis. So there's going to be your value of p in the null hypothesis. So you're going to enter 0.20 for p sub o, or the null p. Next, a value for x is required. X is the number of successes in the sample. In this sample, the success is having a wireless network at home. So we know 15% of the people said they have a wireless network. So we're going to multiply 0.15 times 100, because 0.15 will be the percentage of successes, and that gives us 15. And that's going to be what x is going to be. Next, enter the value for n, and I'll show you how to do this in just a minute. And you're going to select less than p sub o for the alternative hypothesis, and you're going to press enter. So that's kind of what we're going to do on the calculator. So let's go to the calculator, and we're actually going to do this. So we're going to go to stat, over to test, and you're going to go down to number 5, one proportion z-test. And here again, remember I said for p sub o you're going to put 0.20, so we're just going to put 0.2 because the 0 won't matter. X is going to be 15, because remember we multiplied 100 times 15%, which is 0.15, so that multiplies out to give you 15. N was 100, and we want to go down and go over here and press enter where you have less than, because you're getting this from your alternative hypothesis. So once I get that and press enter, I can move down to calculate and press enter. And here's my p-value. It's 0.1056 and so on. So I really should have rounded this to 0.106, but it really doesn't matter. You can tell that this is much bigger than your alpha, which is 0.01, so the correct conclusion is to fail to reject the null hypothesis.